Here we go now, folks. Letter to my baby.
Oh, this is Chinatown. I love this.
Would you please not talk, Margaret?
Well, I didn't...
Turn it off. We got to start again.
Well, excuse me. You didn't say anything.
Just do it again. Hold on.
Jesus.
Margaret, we're recording the thing.
Miss Ray, you gotta be quiet. Margaret, just resist the temptation to comment on every
All right, sorry.
Turn it off and let's start. I'm going to start it clean, and then you just listen, okay?
Phil, that's fine. I don't think you need to look at me like I'm some Filipino nurse, for God's sake.
Well, excuse me. I would never want to look at you like that.
I'm not being racist. You're the one being racist because you're looking at me the way you would look at a Filipino were I Filipino.
Oh, I see. So that's what's wrong with me.
Basically, yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Margaret.
Would you just leave that piece of copy alone? Ladies and gentlemen, Phil has this piece of copy. You're like, just leave it alone, Phil.
Yeah, a lot of your angst, Phil.
Yeah, a lot of your angst, Phil. A lot of your this, Phil. You leave it alone, Phil. Let me ask you a question, Margaret. Would it be too untoward of me, would it be too rude of me to ask you to shut your fat sewer?
Excuse me.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'm going to be in here listening to it, though.
Yeah, you do that, Margaret. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Letter to my baby. God damn it, bud.
He upcut it.
I know he upcut it.
Sorry.
You just get the... Letter to my baby. Hi, baby. Well, by the time you see this note, I'll probably be sitting on my suitcase at the Greyhound bus station. That's right, baby. I'm catching the bus and I'm heading back home. I'm heading back to Indiana, baby. Oh, I know it may come as a surprise to you. And yet, somehow I think maybe it isn't quite the surprise that you and I thought it would be. I think we both knew that this day was coming, baby. So I'm sitting here, baby, sitting on top of my suitcase at the Greyhound bus station, waiting for that eastward bound bus to take me out of this this land of dreams. Where the sidewalks are paved with gold, huh? Baby, maybe for some other guys, but not for me. You know, we could have had it all, baby. I can see you now. You're still asleep there in the silk sheets that I bought you. We could have had it all, you and me. It could have been us at Aspen, us in the Caribbean, us in the South Pacific. We could have been there, talking with, hanging with the great artists and the movers and the shakers and the doers in Hollywood. You and me. Yeah, we had a great shot, baby, when we went to that party last night. A great shot. These were some of the biggest producers that, well, some of the biggest producers as well as directors, as well as studio chiefs that I had ever heard of in my life. Some of them legendary. You too, baby. These were going to be the people that were going to make you and I and our dreams, all three of us, come true in a very, very dramatic way. And there we were at the party. I heard the waves crashing there on the beach. It was Malibu. Malibu. You know what Malibu is, baby. That's not just a beach. That's the beach. Malibu. M-A-L-I and then boo. As in, scare you? It better scare you. I'll tell you what it scares. It scares the losers. Makes the winners feel pretty good, though. And there we were. There at that beachfront home. People serving us hors d'oeuvres and cocktails. People that don't work for a restaurant. They were there working for that great producer. That great studio head that were sponsoring the party. They were giving the party. And there we were. And they were walking up to me and saying, "Would you like an hors d'oeuvre, sir?" And I could look down at them because they were shorter. And why do you suppose they were shorter, baby? I'll tell you why they were shorter. Because they're new to our country and they want what I got, or at least what I thought I had. You see, baby, as I walked about that party, I also kept my eyes close on you. You were laughing and tittering. Everyone there paying attention to you. Everyone there listening to what you were saying. But I also paid attention to a couple of other guys. I paid attention to that big-time producer and that studio head that were giving the party. Oh yeah, I paid a lot of attention to them. And that's when it struck me. We could have had it all. We could have had everything, baby. We could have had the beautiful home, the beautiful cars, all the money that you could possibly spend. It could have been you and me and all of the great stars together. But as I looked into the faces of the producer and the studio head, the people that were sponsoring that party that you and I had been invited to, I realized that neither one of them had seen you or I for a couple of months, not since the first time we had our sit-down meeting, the first time we had our breakfast. You remember the power breakfast, baby? Where was that? No. Where was it? You got it. Malibu. I suddenly realized that while everyone else was talking to you and being polite, those two were a little standoffish. They were not engaging you as they had before. They were not hanging on your every word. They were being polite and they were nodding and smiling, but they were not engaged. They weren't hooked. Yeah, we could have had it all. You were gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But in the few short months that we'd spent out here in Tinseltown, I realized that night, as the studio chief and producer didn't really want to have much to do with you, I realized your ass had gotten too wide. That's right, baby. When your ass widened out, I thought, why? Why didn't I see it coming? Why didn't I notice that? Your ass had pushed past the acceptability level. Your ass had gotten wider than what is acceptable in Hollywood, as well as in Malibu. Why? Why did you do it? And so I sit here on my suitcase at the Greyhound bus station on my ass, which isn't even wide enough to cover the width of a Greyhound bus suitcase. In fact, my ass is so underfed and undernourished, you could put me, all of me, inside of a Greyhound bus locker. That's how very, very hungry I'd gotten, baby, making sure that you had it all. Making sure that you had everything you needed: hair, makeup, lips, eyes, acting lessons, elocution lessons. All of that I made sure that you'd have, and I forgot to notice that your ass had gotten too big. Why? I don't think I'll ever know. I blame myself, baby. I blame myself, but I blame Murray Lender. I know Murray doesn't know us, not that well. We'd met once. I blame Murray Lender because the Lender's bagels that you wanted supplied to the house, do you understand now? Now that we don't have anything, now that we're dead, now that we're gone, now that our careers, singularly and plurally, are F-U-C-K-E-D, as in, well, Murray, I blame you and your God. Shit. Goodbye, baby. You know what? I would only say this. You want to eat bagels, try something whole wheat, but the doughy sourdough bagel with the cream cheese every living, waking second, and your ass got the size that it did, and you look at me and wonder why it was. We were asked to leave the party. Fuck.
The Phil Hendrie Show will continue in just a moment, right after these messages.